Hey everyone, I'm Dan from JazzComposersPresent.com, an online space where composers, musicians, and listeners come together to celebrate the music we love. I'm joined today by Ellen Rowe, pianist, composer, arranger, and Arthur F. Thurnau Professor of Jazz at the University of Michigan. Ellen is here to show us different approaches to solo, piano reharmonization, and orchestration.
Thanks, Dan. Happy to be here, and thanks to everyone for tuning in today. I'd like to talk about a solo piano treatment I did of My Funny Valentine, and I'm calling it a treatment rather than a reharmonization, as I chose to repeat the original A melody twice with different harmonizations rather than stick to what Richard Rodgers originally composed. So I chose to do this treatment as I felt compelled to include the much-loved tune in a concert of Rodgers and harp music, and like many of you, I've played it so often that I couldn't really stand the thought of just rehashing the original version. So I think my take on the tune is a bit more bleak, and I tried to find harmonies and piano textures that would reflect that mood. So if we can bring up slide 1 of the first A. The original harmonies on this are listed above at the top, and the chord symbols I've chosen to describe the piano textures are below. The first thing I did was to take Rodgers' descending guide tone from its changes and move it into the bass. So that's the G to F sharp to F to E motion. Resolving to the original change of E flat major in the 5th bar of the melody, which I kept as kind of a pillar point. The chords are fairly spare initially in keeping with the mood, and you'll also notice that I took the tail end of the melodic phrase in bars 11 and 13 and moved it into the alto voice, which keeps things, I think, a bit darker than the original. I also really love the sound of diminished chords with added notes, and the chord in bar 13 brings, I think, some nice tension in preparation for the release in bar 14. I also felt like the color change to the A flat major 7 over C added some poignancy, and in bar 16, I liked the effect of the A flat over A replacing the A minor 7, again adding, I guess, some unexpected oct, which is mirrored in bar 17, where the D7 gets darkened with a flat 9 and a flat 5. The resolution chord of C minor 11 is, I think, a nice unexpected surprise. So let's hear how this sounds with score audio number 1. Great, so we've got slide 2 here, picking up from where we just left off. And this is where I made the decision, for whatever reason, to repeat the original A melody again with some different chords. I retained the offbeat quarter note pulse from the first 4 bars, as it kind of felt like a bell tolling, which worked well for the mood I was trying to create. I kept the original G to F sharp motion again from Rodgers' progression in the first 2 bars here, but now it's up in the right hand, which helps outline the motion from the C minor 11 to D7 flat 9 over C. I wanted to extend the F sharp a bit longer in this retelling of the A, so I got back to the descending bass line idea and used a B flat major 7 augmented in bar 20. The bass line continues to descend, setting up a 2-5 in bar 21 that will have another deceptive resolution, but again to the E flat major 7, which I apparently couldn't get rid of. I'm also happy with the descending thirds in bar 21, starting with the G and the E flat in the right hand, which move downwards, resolving to the D and A of the E flat major 7 chord. Perhaps my favorite moment of these A sections is the deceptive resolution to the G flat, add 9 and sharp 11 over D flat in bar 24, which allows for a brief moment of maybe tenderness amidst the gloom. I also added an extra bar to the F13 flat 9 chord in this section to help blur the 8-bar phrase expectations. The 2-5 here helps set up the bridge, which will go to the original B flat major 7 as Rodgers intended. So if we can hear the second A section, score video number 2. Great, thank you. And then we have slide 3, which is going to be the bridge. I'll mention a few things to look for here before we play the score video. The original changes, I think we can all agree, are somewhat pedantic, just going up 1, 2, 3, and back down. So I opted for a pedal point approach, but resolving to G minor in the 5th bar rather than the original B flat major, again, kind of keeping the mood a little more dark. The bass line descends once again, leading to the E flat major 7, but it's augmented this time, making it a little less stable. And I think it creates more forward motion that way. And maybe my favorite moment, if I do say so myself, is in the last bar of the bridge, where I utilized some descending second inversion minor triads under the melody, leading to what my friend, composer, and trombonist Paul Ferguson calls a wrong note chord. And this is also kind of referencing Claire Fisher, whom I love. This happens on beat 3 with the F sharp major over D major chord. And then that voice leads to a more conventional D7 flat 9 flat 5 on its way back to G minor. So let's listen to score video number 3. So I'm unfortunately out of time to get to the last A section, but if anyone's interested in seeing it, I would be happy to share it. So thank you so much for listening, and keep writing.
Thanks for watching today's mini lesson. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos down below. To watch our full-length events and participate in live Q&As with our presenting artists, head to jazzcomposerspresent.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.